What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing here, back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we are here with a different type of DNA video. So I want to give a huge shout out to Skull CJ, Agent Furos, we had Morph and Blade. As we all got together, we did a podcast. And yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy the full VOD here. Pretty much is just us having a discussion and talking about the state of the game, you know, a bunch of other things with Fina's release, a bunch of other stuff, guys. So pretty much if you're here for the, you know, the dialogue, pretty much you guys can comment down below anything that you know, heard in the video and things that you do want to talk about. Feel free to comment that down below. And yeah, I'll try to send this video to the devs. We'll see if the creator staff will send it over to them so that they get some of the feedback that we have to say from at least the Western CCs. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to mention. And yeah, hope you guys do enjoy the full thing. Be sure again to check out all their channels. They'll all be linked in the description of this video. And yeah, that is going to be that, guys. Hope you guys enjoy, and feel free to just kind of leave this on in the background if you just want something to listen to. So that's gonna be that, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
You can probably turn off the...
What's good, guys? CJ here, and today we put a little podcast together called the Nightcast with some of the best DNA creators out there, some of the people that are most involved with the game, grinding it out, putting out great guides. So do be sure to check all these guys out. We're gonna start with all their introductions. So by all means, you guys introduce yourselves.
I'll go first if nobody else wants
Okay,
to.
go for it, man.
Yep. Well, I'm Agent Virus. I've been playing Duet Night Abyss since launch, and I've been covering it since a bit before. I will say I was definitely a little bit on the later end. I wasn't keeping like a super close eye on it until the launch announcement, when they kind of just said that, yeah, we're going to be making it really good. We're going to be removing the gacha. We're going to make it so that you can just grind and play the game. And that definitely sold me on the title. Since then, launch came, and I've been grinding super hard and trying to put out the best guides and just general gameplay content that I can.
Okay, I'll go next then. Hello guys, do I not amazing here or just amazing? But yeah, no, I've been keeping an eye out on Duet Night Abyss before the game even came out, like a fairly good amount. I played CBT 1 and 2, and then I didn't get in the NDA one like right before the game came out. But yeah, I've been keeping up with it. Like the moment they like showed it off, as a, you know, a Warframe player myself, I don't know if you guys play Warframe or anything like that, but yeah, being someone that played the game, I was super excited for this. It's like anime Warframe, like that's the craziest combo ever. So yeah, I've been excited. And yeah, in terms of the content, it's just like news, guides, updates, anything related to the game I cover on the channel.
All right. So well, my name's Blade. This was a little bit different for me. It was something I kind of wanted to get into a little bit later on. My main reasoning to getting into it was the man Amazing over here told me about the game a while ago, and I decided to take a little bit of a peek into it. Caught some interest because I was a past Warframe player, kind of dipped out after like, I want to say 3 to 2 years, and then I saw this game and was kind of interested into it. Been playing ever since day one, and I'm a little bit now. I'm like grinding every now and again, getting out a couple videos every now and again, but I'm just doing what I can.
All right, boys, you guys know me. I'm Morph. I'm that VTuber guy with the awesome, amazing Hellfire stuff. I mean, just look at that. It's amazing. That's what we want to do. That's why we play this game. So, that's me, guys. I'm that guy, and I'm the wedge guy. I found out about this game because of that. You guys saw that TikTok or that short video that says, this is the first game that's going gachaless. And then Amazing here started pumping out content 1 month before the game came out. I just kept seeing amazing stuff, amazing. And then I just had to like play the game. Yeah. That's where I started. That's why I played it. Shout out to Amazing. He's amazing.
All right, so that's everybody, guys. Y'all know these guys. If you don't, I'll have the links for their channel in the description of my video. Be sure to check them out. They all pump out great content. Now, the reason behind this is we really wanted to put something together where the community started getting a voice. Creators, you know, that could share their experiences with the game, could actually sit down to talk and see where things can improve, how they feel with the game, the community, and all that good stuff. And considering that all of us come from different games, I'm sure we've covered many different games here. The first thing that I really want to talk about is how has each one of y'all's experience been with the community of the game? Like, as people that covered many other games, how has this community been to each one of you? And we can go in the same order that you guys introduce yourselves. to just make it simple? That's the first question I want to ask you guys.
All right, well, I'd say that the Duet Night Abyss community has definitely been very good to me. You know, responsive, friendly, and most of the time, like, pretty kind of like understanding about a lot of stuff. There's been like a couple people who have been nasty, but very, very like quiet and pushed down, like pretty much no attention to them whatsoever. So it's been really nice,
Okay,
especially
that's good.
in comparison to some previous communities that I have interacted with.
Yeah, so for
Okay.
me, I think the Duet Night Abyss community has been pretty good. You know, like again, like the game was kind of advertised to gacha players, so a lot of people from like the gacha space probably tried it out, which makes sense. And yeah, I think like it's tough because I think a lot of the gacha community was like very like oh, because they're so used to gacha, right? So it's like for them it's like a whole different experience. Everything's free. They have to actually play the game. A lot of doom posting early on in the game that I saw too, of like people like, oh, like, you know, you have to play the game to like get everything. It's like, bro, like it's crazy, you know, the way gacha players have it. But a
Yeah.
lot of the Warframe community, and I think like First Descendant as well. I haven't played First Descendant, but I'm assuming like they as well like probably tried this game out, and like most of them have been very nice, like the people from those communities specifically. And like it's not like all the gacha community, obviously, like they're like for the most part like they're good, but yeah, there's definitely like people like, oh, like, you know what it is, you guys know what it is, but there's definitely
Yeah,
people that
Yeah.
are
the
like
bad
that for sure.
seeds every now and then.
Yeah.
I definitely gotta say on my end, it's been pretty darn nice. Whenever I do play this and actually do streams or either do any videos, it's actually been pretty a good time. Everyone's pretty responsive. Everyone kind of has their own issues or either has things that they do like. The main thing I really do enjoy is like kind of having the whole community come together, especially when it comes down to the build guides and it comes down to like different tips and tricks. Everyone kind of comes together and they try their hardest to try to help everybody out. It was a little rocky at first because, as we said, the gotcha folks were there a little bit. Not everybody, but we know the harsh minority of them that also kind of exist there at times. It was harsh at first, but then it mellowed out, which was really good to see.
This community is honestly probably some of the best. Like, no glaze to chat, no glaze to my community, but still, the reason why I believe this, and like, I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but games like this, it might be gotcha, and like gotcha, you do pull stuff like that. It's gotcha-less, but it's such a heavy grind game that I feel like only a certain kind of breed of person can like stick with it, and those are normally the really mature people. Just that's just my opinion, right?
Yeah.
uh I don't think like majority of kids can like stick with this game because of just how commitment heavy it is. So that's just my take on it. Like my chat knows this how I feel about it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
W
Yeah.
community so far.
yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta agree with you guys. When it comes to this game so far, the start of the game did see some drama and some people that would like try to start stuff. But like you guys said, it was usually the gotcha players that just hopped into the game that aren't used to the grind. But as time has gone by, the people that have stayed are the people that are used to the grind, that don't mind it as much. And sometimes you still see the usual random pop in and, say some stuff. But for the most part, the community, even though it's small, because we got to keep it real, we don't have a massive community, it is very together when it comes to builds, tips, and, how to progress in the game. I feel like the community is pretty together in that aspect. So I do got to agree with you guys all up in that regard. The next thing I want to talk about is kind of interesting because it might be different for each one of us. The game has been out now for what, about a month? So I want to know how you guys feel with your experience with the game from launch until now. How has the experience been with the game for each one of you?
Well, my personal experience, I've had a really good time with the game, just like progressing through it all, collecting as much as I can, leveling up my characters to their maximum, especially when it comes to like making guides and stuff. It has honestly been a blast, like getting an Intron 6 and then getting a max melt on a weapon, and then just like putting together a big showcase where I like annihilate a boss in like 20 seconds. It's it's been a lot of fun. And then like finding out more stuff to optimize as well with like the build crafting, like alternate options depending on what support you're using, as well as stuff like the types of missions that you're running. Like me figuring out that whole like chase stuff was like really fun, and I love running chase.
Very true.
Yeah, very positive on it so far, and I can not wait to see what 1.1 has to offer.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, I just like the grind. You know what I mean? Like I think that's like probably for like most people as well playing the game. But the grind is definitely like the fun part for me. So like just putting in the hours, farming a certain like resource or farming a certain material. That's always been a thing I've loved to do, even like on like Warframe, like Destiny, like those games in the past. So like yeah, it's just been pretty fun. And then also the fact that the community just like every single day there was always something new, man, which is crazy to me. Like someone found out, oh, this mod is like, you know, insanely good for like a boss, or like, oh, this works on a support. You could use it for like a thing. Like I don't know if you guys got this recently, but people in my chat were telling me like Surge is like usable on supports to like increase the damage taken on bosses and stuff during the like
Oh yeah, I made
the
a
down
video on
period.
that.
Really? Okay, so it's probably from you then,
Yeah.
Furos. But yeah, like it's just crazy, like the way like the community just like finds new things, and like every single day there's always something new. So I really like that aspect. But yeah, no, it's been good.
I definitely can say when it does come down to like my overall impressions on it, I'm still loving it ever since day one. Obviously, I'm juggling multiple things now. Like I know Amazing could probably agree with me on this one as well. Where Winds Meet drop too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
over here splitting my time between like three different things because of course I got my own other game that's also the main thing that's my focus in this game. This game has been amazing and I've been enjoying every last time I get on here. I just have to kind of divvy up my time, which is actually perfect because as a person who enjoys grindy games like this, it's a great thing to come on because at least when I come on here, I know for a fact I have things I can do. I know there's like different builds I can start working on. There's stuff I can min max, and that's always a great thing when you can get onto a game and truly know learn something new or either continue doing what you're doing.
For me, guys, like first 200 hours of the game, absolute amazing. Like no complaints at all. 200 hours. I lived in this game for the past month. I was in it. I was grinding 12-hour streams, 16-hour streams. It was wild. But as I further got along, because let's be honest, there is a grind burnout, especially with the Demon Wedge. I hit that grind burnout about this week. But then after I took like, I mean, I had to be a normal person for a while. I did my normal person stuff, and then I just wanted to get back in the game. So that burnout hit me, and then it's gone. Like I want to play again. Like right now, I gotta go to like a beach thing. Like right after this, I'm gonna do like a 3-hour drive, and like the only worry in my head is like, how am I gonna go online?
Yeah, I'm entirely immune to burnout, so that's not an issue for me.
Okay, yeah.
So,
For me, it's been the same as you guys. I've enjoyed the freedom to build these characters because I come from, I mean, the game I was covering on my channel was Wuthering Waves, and there is zero build diversity. It's the same exact build on every single character, no matter what. And in this game, being able to experiment and test, and like how you guys were saying, when you first get a character and then you dupe it up, and some of the interactions with the character change, some new wedges are found, the community comes through with something. It's been a breath of fresh air. And while the grind in certain aspects can be tedious, after playing a game for so many years, like Wuwa and all these other gacha games, where I could only play for 5 minutes, right, and then hop off because there's nothing else to do apart from picking mint, it feels good to have a game where I can actually get on and if I want, grind for 8 hours and progress my account. That has been
that's true.
amazing for me.
Very true.
So in terms of
Like,
the progression and how I felt with it, I think it's been pretty good.
I mean, I think it's perfect. Honestly, the some people are complaining that there's like nothing to do for 2 months, but like normal people need those 2 months to get everything for 1.1.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yes.
We're just the heavy grinder boys, you know.
We have the problem.
So
Yeah.
it's our problem.
Yeah,
it's
bro.
nobody else's problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
And
can
you said that
thoroughly agree
perfectly,
on
bro.
that.
I mean, when it comes
Because
to, sorry, you can go first.
no problem. All right. I was just saying I can kind of agree on that because in reality, Amazing could tell it too. Like I think I already had like 2 gold demon wedges maxed out within the first 2 weeks or
Not
first
crazy,
week,
bro. Like,
just immediately making characters maxed out on gold wedges. And it's truly just like something most people won't have a lot of time to do that. So that 2 month period is actually needed.
Absolutely agreed.
Yeah.
Some people see it as bad, right? That we don't have something where we need gold wedges right now. But I feel that it's actually good because it gives people time to build up their accounts, right? Without
Yeah.
being forced to do it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just take
100%.
like 10 pieces a day or like 5 pieces a day.
Yeah, I 100% agree on the fact that we shouldn't really have content in the game right now that requires heavy investment, because then you're going to run into the opposite situation where people are complaining that they have to put like 200 hours into the game within a month in order to do, quote, like everything.
That FOMO is gonna start kicking in.
I really
Which
do hope
is
that we get some more difficult content in 1.1 though.
Yeah, no, me too, absolutely. And talking about this whole grind, this leads into the next topic, which is the state of the game regarding the grind cycle, because I feel that that is one of the most controversial topics, right?
Yeah.
Wedges, secret letters, weapon materials. Like some people complain about it either being too boring, not getting enough, not enough diversity from where you get it. What do you guys think about the state of the grind in the game?
I I'm personally like decently satisfied with it. I don't really find any particular activity or like material grind to be necessarily atrocious. There's not really anything that I like can't get or like just absolutely dread going for, because even when there is an activity that is like kind of bad, like excavation, I don't like that. I can get coins from Chase and I can get coins from Mystic Maze, and same thing when it comes to the Carmine globules. I can get from Chase or I can get from Escort. If I don't want to do defense, I can do Chase. Personally, what I feel like would really benefit from the game is adding more modes that offer alternate pathways to different materials, like how Chase can give you Carmine money as well as Ludo mementos. Because right now, there's definitely like this perception in the game that you have to go into like defense if you need Ludo mementos. Outside of that, the only thing that I feel like might get a tiny bit excessive is the max out gold demon wedges, but also at the same time, we don't currently have anything in the game right now that would require you or like heavily incentivize you to have +10 demon wedges over like a max Intron character or a max smelt weapon, or just a better team and build in general.
For me, I'll mention this too as well for you guys, but like coming from Warframe, and I'll talk about like the hard content stuff first before we go over like the state of the game. But yeah, like hard content, by the way, like I think we're not gonna get like anything that's like actually like hard, guys, to be honest, because the way like Warframe treats it is like their hardest thing in the game is to lock your loadouts to certain characters and certain weapons. That's how they make it hard, because everything in that game is easily melted through whatever you use if you have a good enough build, right? Which once we get to that point where we're getting, gold demon wedges on like all our builds, all our weapons have gold demon wedges, all that stuff, then everything's gonna feel trivial to us. But for people getting to that point, it's still gonna feel hard, right? So I don't know how they adjust like end game content for this type of game. But I thought I'd mention that. And then yeah, in terms of like state of the game though, I personally think it's like people just like kind of complaining about like having to grind when again it's on their time. They don't have to grind unless they want to. You know what I mean? So when people are saying like, oh, like, amazing, or like, CJ or Blade, Furos, like Morph, if any of you guys have like 300 hours in the game, like it's gonna take me forever to get all these gold wedges. Who are you racing with, bro? Like, what's the competition? You take it at your own pace. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think like honestly it's good to have other games come out as well. Like with DNA being out, we had like Whirlwind's Meat Drop, and then I've been playing the TOF Warp Server recently as well. So I've been like dabbling in other things, and and it's good because it's like it helps with my burnout as well from the game from DNA, because I've done so much farming. I feel like at this point it's like that's kind of crazy, but yeah, that's pretty much where like I feel about the state of the game right now is like people are really just kind of saying it's dead when like they probably have stuff to do. It's just they don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Or like they don't have the time maybe, and that's fine. You know, it's on their time. So yeah, that's the way I see it personally.
I can kind of agree with that because the state of the game right now, I don't think it's in the bad area. I think it's actually in the perfect area where it needs to be because, of course, Warframe went through the same thing where after you do your stuff, you don't really have much that you can do at that point unless you truly want to min max, right?
Yeah.
Now you have people who do have a lot of stuff to do, but they can do it at their own time. They can do it at their own pace. The hardcore grinders, which is us in this chat right
Pretty
now,
much, yeah.
are usually going to be we get our stuff in, we're continuously min maxing all the time, continuously doing everything we can do, and when we're done, we're generally just waiting. But there's no time when we're done because at this point in time, we're always making something new. While other people, they're looking at us like, how the heck are you doing this? I'm never gonna reach this. But it's like you don't have to race with anyone. There's nothing like gotcha periods where like you gotta beat this in this time frame. You have to do this in this time frame. There's nothing like that. You can just sit there, take your time with it, get your characters how you want them at that point in time, and just keep moving on. And I kind of like that flow with the game because it just really just lets everyone take a breather. Just people have to kind of get used to that and slowly understand this is how this game works.
For me, guys, the grind is it's tough. It's not an easy grind for sure. But if you compare it with other games, it's actually a lot easier. I mean, the Warframe vets will know, some TFD that vets will know. Duet Night Abyss is fairly easy and simple. Now, I do have complaints though, because secret letters are the most key item to unlock everything, right? Because you need it for Wedge, you need it for Smelt, you need it for characters. And there are some activities that I feel like should have secret letters. Uh, like you know how like I know it's not the main reward, but maybe they can beef it up a little bit just so that it helps like more people out. I'm specifically the only activity that I really because I'm a non-meta player, so I do not play Lin, I do not play Nif, I don't use any of the consonance weapons, and the maze just feels bad for me to play because I don't want to miss out on the consonance weapons. Yeah, but I want like a little bit more reward from it, like secret letter reward in the maze maybe. And you know when you're doing demon wedge all day because I do a lot of demon wedge. Like I don't know, maybe I have like 12 plus 10s or something. Um the amount of secret letters in there, I do appreciate that it drops there, but I feel like it just needs that little bit more like give in it. Not the same level as exploration. No way. No, not that much. Just a little bit more. Let's say in 4 hours or 5 hours, I get 300 secret letters. Maybe make it 450, 400, something like that. Just a little bit, a better spread in giving out secret letters on other activities. Because I'll be real. Like I know you guys know it. The meta is exploration for secret letters, and if I have to sit there for the whole day to farm out thousands and thousands of this thing, I kind of want to do other things too. So if it's better rewarded, I think it would be fine for me. That's just me. That's also what my chat wants to say too. But personally, I have the same thoughts regarding this. Secret letters need a little bit more spread. That's it.
Okay. Now, for me personally, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, more if you were saying like secret letters and stuff, right? And like the system with that. And then like
Yeah.
exploration, like the grind for exploration. Bro, please add it to where like we can have like let us set like 10 waves to do it without having it to pop up our commission manual like thing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
our try the next stage. Because like if we're strong enough, it's really just us tabbing into our game every like minute to or like 30 seconds, not even, to just see that like, oh, go to the next wave. Right, so that's why exploration I feel like is kind of annoying. If people just had it to where they could just like actual like AFK their like 10 waves, come back, and it's all done,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
would make the grind a lot better. But anyways, sorry CJ, you go for it now.
That's true.
All right, so for me, the acquisition amount of a lot of the materials in the game hasn't been a problem, but you guys brought it up, and I think that's the core issue that a lot of people have is that there is really no diversity if you want to get a lot of these things. You only go to the one mission if you want to get the most amount of rewards, right? And usually there's always going to be a meta, there's always going to be a mid-max way to do things, but it would be good if they added, like Furious was saying, other mission types like chase, where you can get multiple of one type or different types of resources rather than always having to go and do the same exact thing. I think that's ideally one of the biggest things. And the second issue that I have regarding the grind of the game is that we're all actively grinding to get stronger, but none of the content in the game, even the grindy content, really promotes us or rewards us for getting stronger. You want to do 3 waves and then get out and then go back in, because if you go 50 waves, you're not really getting more rewards the higher the waves you go. I feel that that could definitely be improved in the grinding part of the game for me.
You guys saw that guy that cleared 99 waves of exploration and only got 200 secret
I
letters?
saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yep. And it was like an hour and a half for that. And you can get that much in like, I don't know, 40 minutes, 30 minutes of just doing the mid-maxy way, going in and out after a few waves. So I definitely feel they gotta promote players to want to get stronger by giving more rewards the higher you go in these stages. The next topic is interesting because a lot of people talk about that, and that is balancing in the game, whether it's for characters. We have characters that they're just sitting there that people don't really talk about. Randy is one of them, for example. And not only characters, but we can go even further and talk about weapons, how the reality of it is that weapons have no use in the game apart from maybe extending a character's kit. Like, for example, the weapons with Niffle, how you extend her kit through the weapons, but the actual weapons in the game don't do anything for the most part. So what do you guys think about that? Balancing, how they can apply it into the game, characters and weapons and other things alike.
Well, personally, I feel like there just needs to be a general buff to the majority of the weapons of the game. At least to the weapons that aren't like direct stat sticks. I am entirely fine if a stat stick weapon that just gives like some character or like attack buff is weak and pathetic. But when we have weapons that are very directly designed to be wielded as, well, actual weapons with passives and effects that only affect the weapon itself, being, well, so weak in the majority of their applications, at least outside of like support scenarios, like you said, essentially enabling a character's kit, or weapons that are like really good at destroying boss stats. There's only about like a couple weapons, and I say a couple, but it's just the same
2.
weapon type twice. It's the 2 katanas that are really only good weapons that are good weapons on their own, instead of requiring or playing into a character's kit and being good that way. And I would really much rather have the majority of the weapons that are available essentially being as strong as a character's kit, especially at like a max smelt with like plus 10 wedges, because I've been investing really hard into my weapons. I don't know how many of you guys have like tuned into my streams or watching my videos, but whenever I open up like one of my weapons, you'll see like plus 10 wedges on like all of them. So I've definitely gone really hard into them because I was thinking that, okay, well, the weapons are probably going to be a bit more backloaded. They were not, in fact, backloaded. They're honestly oftentimes just as weak as they were starting out. So I feel like something to help improve that would definitely be giving weapons like some base stat increases when you smelt them. So like obviously increasing their base attack, as well as maybe some other like weapon specific stats, like maybe one weapon gets more crit rate as you gain more smelts on it, or more crit damage. Obviously it can vary, but I feel like that would definitely help out a lot more alongside just a general damage lift across the board. Beyond that, when it comes to characters, again, there are certainly some characters in this game that fall behind, but that also may just be the fact that we may not have found exactly like what they're good at or what they shine at, or we may not have the proper support to enable them yet. A good example is going to be Berenica, because generally Berenica was pretty weak I'm pretty sure we can all agree that in terms of like the
Yeah.
characters, especially the free characters that we can get, I6 and the DPSs, she was many like levels below them. But then we got Fina, who, since she directly buffs like weapon and constance weapon characters the most, especially characters who deal their damage primarily through their constance weapons, outside of like different ability procs like Lin and Psyche do, those characters got elevated a ton with Fina, and now Berenica with Fina is performing at a similar level to them with their best in slot supports as well. And we also are seeing some other things like DPS Daphne builds, which we maybe didn't consider before. So I definitely feel like there are going to be scenarios where we will find certain characters shining more as we like discover more about them and we get new characters in the game. However, when it comes to other characters like Hellfire, Randy, Sybil, and some other guys who kind of fit into that, the main problem with them is that their kits are just not needed within the current enemy state of the game. And what they would really need in order to shine outside of just, some generally better supports and better teams is the fact that there needs to be more difficult content, more challenging enemies to face, and a bigger variance. So for instance, if there was an enemy that had, like maybe a very small amount of HP, like essentially 10% of their effective HP is actual HP, and then they've got like this giant shield that you need to chew through that characters are going to struggle with. If you have somebody like Randy who just absolutely annihilates its shred shields, obviously he would benefit that scenario a lot more. But it you definitely need to be careful with that. But that could also tie into weapons, because right now Slash isn't generally very useful either, because you're generally wanting more damage to the enemy's HP because bosses are the tankiest guys in the game. There are going to be like necessary gameplay changes in order to make those characters actually shine with their kits outside of just increasing the damage numbers, because we really don't want a situation where we've got a support or a tank that deals as much damage as a DPS character or has so much AoE and damage as a DPS character when they can tank, support, do all this other stuff, because that's when, I feel like that's the real nasty side of power creep right there. But that's about all I have to say.
Yes, sir. Pretty much everything Firo said, I agree with, and yeah, for like balancing like characters specifically to add, maybe I don't know if they need to do like reworks, but like if you guys don't know, Warframe will like if a character like feels underpowered and the community like talks about it, they'll like rework the kit of the character and they come back as like insane, and they don't have to be like best character in the game. They just have to be like they have to feel stronger, you know. That's like all people really care for anyway. It's not like everyone wants Sybil to be the best DPS in the game. They just want her to be like stronger than what she already is, or what she can do. So like yeah, I think like character balancing right now is just like it's really up to the devs, man. If they actually decide to like start, maybe retuning kits and like changing percents and stuff, that could help. And then actually like doing like revamps to some character kits too if they feel like a little underpowered. But yeah, again, it's just like yeah, we would need like more harder content to really like do that, like Firos is saying. But yeah, again, like a character like Hellfire though, I feel like is more tailored to like AFK farming in a sense, right? Because she's like when you take hits, her like skill duration goes longer, right? They need to kind of like go into that more in a sense, like for her kit. Because I feel like some of her introns don't really like want you to continue doing that in a sense. You know what I mean? So like things like that, like introns being maybe reworked as well to like actually benefit a character's kit. Yeah, and then as I mentioned earlier, I think right now, like if we're talking about like difficult content that's gonna come to this game, it's gonna be very hard for him to balance it to where it's fair for someone that's like starting the game within like the first month to like get to Act 12 immersive versus like us who have like everything maxed out where we're probably just gonna steamroll it, and then most people would complain that like it's not hard in a sense, right? But like again, that's gonna be something that's hard to balance. So I feel like what they need to do, and this is just like my critique of that, would be just make everything past Act 12 like have useful rewards to like warrant someone like that's at our point in the game to like have a reason to like go that far in immersive theater. Because right now it's only for the like tickets, and you have to go to like Act 60 to get like all the weapons and the Yum Yum Milk or whatever, right? It's something crazy. So yeah, I think like that's pretty much something that they could like definitely like think to work towards. And then yeah, and then obviously weapons again, like they just need like some type of base stat buffs or something, because like they feel like super weak in general. But like as Firos was saying, like stat sticks are fine being the way they are, because like if the stat stick is like bad as a weapon, but it provides the bonus, then you would, you know, that's like the trade off in a sense, right? Whereas like a gun that actually has a passive for that gun should be good. You know what I mean, for what it's trying to do. But yeah, and again, nothing's ever gonna be like perfectly balanced, because there's always like, you know, there's always gonna be like a meta, right? There's always gonna be what's like stronger than another thing, but as long as things are balanced enough to where like if you main that character, you could clear like all content at like a, you know, at a level, or like if the character is like tailored for a certain thing, they're like the best in that, then that's fine too. But yeah, that's pretty much my take on it.
I'm kind of glad that you brought up the whole reworking for characters thing, because that's how kind of I see it as the balancing thing. Is it's not necessarily that we have crazy overpowered things, or like we need the content to be insanely like hard to actually make use of certain characters, but it's more like certain characters just genuinely need some more attention brought to them to really bring out what is needed of them. There's not many units that we're really trying to use if they don't have a true use in like a mission or something. There's always a different unit that's better. We need a way to rebalance certain characters like that in order to really provide other players to want to go ahead and use them. You said you brought up Hellfire here, where her introns are kind of working against her. That is a true thing too. It's like we want that to kind of get a little bit worked around. So then it's like, okay, now this character is getting some benefits from the introns that they have here. It's not necessarily going against what we're trying to build them for. And we don't have to result to like power creep to kind of get what we need out of that. Because at the end of the day, none of us want that to happen. If anything, and I do know, of course, the game modes could be a little bit harder. I think the only place that I would like to see that in is how we said it as well, was with past like Act 12. That's the only way I could see it interesting. I think the last one I went to maybe Act 30 or 40, and I just stopped. I was like, okay, there's no point in me doing this. It takes too long. Like if they want us to have some more challenging stuff for the people who truly do want to like hardcore go at it like that, they would have to make it way harder inside of the immersive theater and actually have rewards that are kind of worth it. Just because there are people who truly want to do that type of stuff, but it's just still going to have to come down to like reworking characters, and it's still going to have to try to make certain weapons worth it. Like there's the saw weapon. I got to remember what it's called. There's a saw weapon that I like to use.
Shoot ratchet.
It's thank you. Yeah, that weapon is actually really nice, but at the same time, you have to be very, very specific on what you're doing with that weapon to actually make it work properly. Instead of going ahead and using a different weapon that could probably just be used as a stat stick and then just do way better, right? Um, they would have to rebalance the weapons a little bit, or at least make them more useful, especially if they have a in tune passive that is meant to do what it needs to do. That's usually just how I view it though.
Finally, it's my time. I've been waiting for this one. All right, you guys know I champion these guys, right? I champion the freaking Hellfire. I champion Sibi. I have Randy now. I have an i6 Randy. It's honestly he's not bad. He's better, way better than Hellfire. Um, but they do need the help. They do like I use them. I know that they need it, and the one that needs it the most is Hellfire, bro. Like she's my girl. She's my main, but she is the weakest of the weak. And I think in a game like this, guys, like I get it that she is supposed to be tanky, and yeah, there should be content that she will have way more use for, right? Like imagine like a stage or a mode where there's just thousands of mobs and you need somebody to like kick them into the sky all the time every 5 seconds. That would actually be amazing for her. And yeah, like she would actually be more useful if the mobs are actually threatening, because what happens is like nobody even gets to hit her and her E doesn't even work because they're too far away, or because they're getting knocked out, because when you slash things they don't like really attack you. This one is like, oh my god, Hellfire, help. So it does feel bad for like non-meta stuff, but again, they aren't terrible. They are super fun to play. I have cleared a lot of the Act 12s using these non-meta characters, and just a little bit of help because I thought it was HP scalers, but Truffle is absolutely cracked. Truffle is a beast. Like she is amazing. So it's really just a few characters that need a little bit more support. And like I said, like Furio said, maybe the content isn't out there yet. I also thought about that gigantic shield enemy, and then Randy just like throws his Zeus freaking spear down at him and just explodes the shield, and then your team can just hit it. Yeah. So in terms of character balance, I think it's actually good for the game because it introduces or makes people think about, oh, I can play this character too. I don't have to play the meta characters. So it's nice. It will actually make people like grind the character out a little bit more. They spend more time in the game because their favorite character that they kind of like visually is viable. So in terms of characters, yeah, I think there needs to be a little bit of reworking. They don't gotta be super OP. A little bit of number adjustments, yeah, and the harder content. It's hard to argue the harder content because it's not there, right? But definitely they need a buff. I personally think they need a buff. Now for the rewards, you guys talked about making it more rewarding to push the immersive theater. I agree with that 100%. CJ made a video about the mementos. I think I saw that one, and you can't even claim everything. Somebody like me cannot claim everything at all because I don't play the meta, and only the meta characters can reach the 60, 70, whatever depth that it is. I cannot reach that. So I I really want rebalancing and a little bit of buffing. I don't want nerfs. Like nerfs is the worst thing that can happen. So maybe balance out the characters, and then if they want, they can make the enemies harder too. So that's my take on characters. For weapons, I can agree with you guys. Like some weapons are very lackluster, some are stat sticks, some don't feel that great to play. But I do feel like if you read on 1.1, I think there will be a shift towards weapons. And the introduction of Fina herself honestly, it kind of hints that weapons are going to become pretty good in the future because everything Fina does for weapons is amazing. I use a katana build at that Momoji katana thing, and the damage with when Fina just came into the team, my damage just skyrocketed. Plus, she can get that neon prismatic thing going for her, and a lot of people are sleeping on it. The builds aren't made yet, but overcrit is I feel like it's gonna be low key super strong, especially with Queso. You know Queso, he's coming. So the Lumino guy, he's like a weapon master. Yeah, that dude will probably be amazing. Lumino is gonna be eating good. And Yuming. Yuming's like a half weapon, half skill damage character. So I feel like weapons is on the way to becoming good. It's just not quite there yet. It's in 1.1. When it comes to the stat sticks, I agree. Some weapons are fine to have it just to boost your skill based characters. But I would really like to see more weapons with cool effects, kind of like the Embla Bow of Nif. That one's really cool. Momoji is pretty damn cool if you get the charge attack because it's basically Virgil from Devil May Cry. I love using it with Randy, bro. Like I charge attack the boss, and then right after I charge attack the boss, I like use the chair after I knock it out, and it's just so badass to see. So yeah, weapons I feel like will be good. We just gotta wait a little bit more. That's all I gotta say for the buffs and nerfs. I mean for the balancing of characters.
Okay. You guys all brought some really great points. Y'all covered pretty much everything. I'll just say how I feel regarding some of these things, even though they're pretty much in the same line as you guys. We'll talk about the characters first. I 100% agree. There will always be a meta. There will always be characters that do certain things better than others. But in a game that's going to revolve around, you know, skins and customizing your characters, there really shouldn't be characters that are so bad compared to others that people really don't want to play them. So, like, for example, Hellfire is an amazing character, looks great, looks really good. But when we look at how she performs, not a lot of people are going to want to play her. And if the devs want to make money, let's be real. If they drop a really hot skin for Hellfire, there are two big reasons right on the screen right now why a lot of people would want to get that skin. But then the performance of the character will kind of fall back. So some characters definitely need some tweaking, not just because of that, but like you guys said, um, their own kits kind of work against them in certain scenarios. You know, Hellfire being one of them. And there are some other characters, some that are actually very good, where their kits and the way they synergize with their own per se signature weapons don't really work right. Like I feel like they do need some tweaking. A good example of this of a meta character is, for example, Tabitha, right? Her signature weapon is a melee weapon, but then
Mhm.
her kit benefits from range weapons, right? So certain things in
Oh,
Oh,
here the roster
okay.
doesn't really benefit the same way that others do. So that's definitely one thing that needs to be changed. And you guys said it, right? Maybe there is no content at the moment where we can take full advantage of certain characters, Randy with his shield capabilities and all of that. But who knows if that's going to come, right? And for now, I think some tweaks could make them a lot more viable for content where you can clear if you get into the game. Some people literally hopped into the game just for a character like Hellfire, right? And then they get her and they can't really clear almost anything or feel underwhelming, even in what she does best. I had a friend that got Hellfire day one, Max duped her day one, and he was like, okay, she's a tank. Why is it that when she like aggroes things and does her skill, she yeets people away from her, for example? Right? So there are certain things of the kits that definitely need to be changed or improved upon to make them more viable. That's my take regarding the characters. Now, regarding the weapons, when the active character that we have on the field only has two skills that we can effectively use, I don't think it's a good idea to make weapons literally obsolete. They would add more variety to your gameplay and they would allow you to do more things while you're on the field. So weapons absolutely need to be improved. The stat stick weapons are fine, right? Because that offers a specific playstyle to certain characters. But there are so many interesting weapons in the game that do some weird mechanics, bro. But when you actually put them onto the game, you don't really do anything. You're tickling the boss or something with the actual weapon. So I feel that improving weapons is something that is not just beneficial to the game. I think it's needed for the longevity of the game and the diversity of the playstyles. That's
can
my
I
take regarding balancing.
can I can I add something to like balancing? Like we talked about
Yeah.
weapons and characters. I feel like Bro Boxy being the only useful Genimon for real is kind of makes me feel bad about the other Pokemons. I mean, oh, so my Genimons. So I feel like the bonus drop or whatever should just be like a trait that we can put on everyone so that we can like play around with all the others. That's just a little thing that I was thinking about since we're talking about balance.
Okay. I do think that oftentimes when we talk about Genie, and I've made videos, I'm sure all of you have too, where we talk about a specific build. And in the builds, we usually, at least I do, I bring up some Genie mons that are good for that character, right? Because you're
Yeah.
not going to be running Boxy in, for example, theater. And there's always the person that comments, why do any of these Genie mons matter? Just run Boxy, right? So I get where you're coming from. I also feel that maybe if they added content where we would get rewards that wasn't tied to the drop rate, like static rewards, Boxy wouldn't be needed in those particular scenarios. Like for example, Maze, right? Or
Hmm.
theater. So more stages like that. Because right now the meta is Boxy. You're running Boxy on everything, no matter what. Even on the farming units. For example, the battle pass has the hydro pet that buffs summons. right? The summons are things like Rebecca's jellyfish. You ain't never gonna use that genie mon because when you're using Rebecca, you're farming, so you're gonna want to use Boxy, bro. So that's a very valid take. All right. So the next thing is something that each one of us can actually have different ideas. And I think it's vital for the current state of the game because the game is great, but we ain't gonna kid out ourselves. They need a ridiculous amount of quality of life improvements. And that is the topic that I want to talk about right now. What quality of life improvements do you guys want to see them add in the game, whether it's within the next couple of weeks, months, or as time goes on, that would really improve the game?
Okay, so when it comes to a quality of life improvement, are we talking about like features that just simply augment? So like not necessarily new content, right? Or would
Yeah.
something like a traversal option be considered QOL?
Anything that you feel would improve how players interact with the game, I feel would be a QL right now.
A checklist for sure. A quick and easy to access menu of like objectives that you can set. Like, okay, I need this for my character right here. I need this for my weapon. I need this amount of materials from that. And if I click on the material, then I can go to the activities that I can then get it from. So, for instance, if I put in a like weapon crafting on my checklist and I want to be crafted twice, then it'll say like, okay, you need this amount of stuff, you need the blueprint, and you could get the blueprint from the shop or from Nocturnal Echoes. The like sharpening potions, you need like the other things, and you get the Luna mementos from these activities and the coins from here and here. I feel like that would definitely help out a lot of people keeping track of stuff, especially if they're doing a lot of things at the same time. And especially because it can be very, very easy to kind of get like lost in the game. And not necessarily in the sense that you are like don't know what to do, but like it's wandering around in the, I don't know, the supermarket. You know, you take like one turn into this aisle, and then all of a sudden you're perusing around a whole bunch of things that you didn't actually go to the store for, and that's kind of how it is with the game. Like I'm going for like a demon wedge, and like, okay, oh crap, there's like this battle going on right now for the characters, and then I get completely sidetracked.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier, but like allowing you to set maybe like a certain amount of waves you want to go in a stage before it asks you like commission manuals and do you want to continue. I think that could be good for things like exploration, defense, right? For like endless modes. You should just kind of have it like that. At peace, bro. That thing is a problem. Like, I've been farming. I'm at like 400 genie mods. I haven't seen it once yet. And bro, and
Same.
a good solution that people have said is just put it as the last like reward in the fishing shop to actually incentivize you to do fishing like the way it was intended to get at peace to make your grind easier after that. That's a good addition.
Yeah.
What's like other quality of life? Let you have multiple different like mission types for each drop. I think we talked about that earlier a little bit, but like, yeah, like okay, let's say like you know how escort is like Carmine Globule, like have like an exploration version of Carmine Globule stage, right? Or like capture for like coins or something. That'd be crazy, right? Things like that where it's like different mission types, but like you get a certain reward and you could like, you know, maybe they'll make it work like covert commissions where it like cycles out. So like maybe you see like capture for coins, you're like, damn, that's pretty good. Or like dismantle for like coins, right? That would be insane because you clear in like 30 seconds a run, right? So like things like that, I think could be pretty good quality of life. And then yeah, I mean other than that, just like optimize co-op, man. Like when I play with people, like, and I don't obviously since we're on like NA, it's just like most people like they're probably living near me, but like if people are like on like West Coast, let's say, because I'm East Coast, and we're playing like chase, bro, my game lags when I'm doing the charge attack with the full arm. It lags like crazy, and I'm going at like the same speed as like base charge attack with the full arm when I have celerity like maxed out. So like I think that needs to be kind of adjusted too. And then yeah, I mean again, these are like all things they've pretty much said like they're working towards for 1.1, but just off the top of my head, like that, those would be like a few I think could be pretty good.
I think the main thing I wanted, you mentioned briefly too, which was the mode swapping the items. Because yeah, it's nice to just go ahead and just do one mode where we get just Luno mementos, right? But that's like your only thing. But we need more modes that are kind of like chase as a quality of life, because having at least a mode give two of the main things that we need, such as materials for sharpening potions, materials that we genuinely do need to get up our characters, and actually have them kind of grouped in that one thing that you can complete would be very nice. Because I'm gonna be honest, there's certain things I do want to grind, and then I look at the other one, I'm like, I don't want to grind this game mode due to this one item is the only thing that's useful in this game mode, where I could just go ahead and do chase. I get Luno mementos, I get the things for like upgrading my wedges, I get all of that in one area, but it's just a little amount of them. I'd rather take the little amount and at least guarantee myself getting three things out done, coins and all of them all at once.
Would you mind if I add one more thing to what I said earlier?
Sure.
Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
for it, man.
Yeah, so I feel like something that could definitely be classified as QOL and would definitely benefit the game is if they make the rewards for participating in expeditions and the random encounters actually worthwhile. Because like all the time when I'm walking around through the overworld for like my genie mons and stuff, I'm going into so many different random encounters and I just completely ignore them because none of them are worth the time investment at all. You get like less than 1,000 or like less than 10,000 coins for that, or maybe like I don't know, some random world drops, 7 like blue genie mon XPs. Considering that they are limited in their stuff and you have to go out of your way to complete them, either through like sending characters out to complete them in the expedition menu or going into the overworld to participate there yourself, they provide just like way too little rewards for the like just brain power alone of even thinking about touching them. And if they provided, like more coins and maybe some other materials like Carmine globules, Lunar mementos, or just anything else that you can get in commissions, I feel like that would benefit the game a lot more, especially for people who, maybe don't have as much time to grind. They can still like log in and then be like, oh crap, there are some expeditions that I can send my characters out on, and I can still get some materials as a part of my daily login, even though I'm not, spending like 3 hours today to grind out my character.
I get that. That's true. Nobody's talked about this, and a huge quality of life. I made a video on this. This needs to get fixed ASAP. Track shift modules. Track shift modules
Yeah.
kind of locks you into one build. It makes you feel bad that you have to spend such a rare currency to just change your build, and then you can't swap back to your previous build. Because I could make, okay, there is a way stronger build for Hellfire, guys. It is the Katana build because she gets 80% final bonus damage on her own. And that's actually a really strong build for her. But I can't even play it because I don't want to spend the track shift modules because I'll lose my HP scalar AoE farming build. So it feels bad. The track shift modules need a change. I mentioned before that it should be. I feel like it's better to copy TFD. The TFD track shift or whatever slotting thing they had in that game was better, is a better system. If not that, we could go with the Warframe, except the one for Warframe is a little bit harder to get. It's like a rare thing and it's hard to get. So I think TFD version would be the best for track shift modules. The next thing that I would like to, yeah, you guys are amazing. Did this earlier. He mentioned give us like a way to set the waves, like let's say we're doing a Luno defense mission, right? I'm strong enough. I could just say, I want to do this mission up to wave 9, and then just continuously like I don't have to select the boosters. I have 9 boosters, or I'll like spend whatever number of boosters that I have, set it up, bam, it's done, and then you just continuously do it. That way you don't have to like keep clicking the menus, uh, right? That saves you what 2 minutes of your life, or you could actually just go away and like do something. So that one I think should be added. Another thing that I would like quality of life change. It's not really talked about as much, but the forge, forging, uh, you get the materials that you're forging only after everything gets forged. What if you had like let's say you went on a crazy Luno or chase commission thing that you got like 5,000 Luno coins and you just want to craft out what five I don't know like a lot of gold sand. Like you set the slider to 100 gold sand, but then now you have to wait for that thing to complete forging, and you can't craft your weapons. I feel like the moment like one piece gets forged, it should just go to your bag or something.
Interjecting real quick. If you cancel the
Yeah.
forging in midway through that, every single like thing that has taken the time to actually hit forge, so like if you're crafting 10 and like 40 minutes have passed, if you cancel the forging right there, you'll get the 4 sands and you'll get the other materials, and then you can just set like the 6 again. But that would generally be like a better QOL function than one we currently have. I just wanted to specify that you don't
Yeah.
actually have to wait the entire time.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, thanks for that one. But
Yeah.
still, that's knowledge that most people won't know. I didn't know it. I have like
I didn't
600
know that
hours
either,
in the
bro.
game
I'm
or
not gonna
something.
lie, so that's a W. Like, like
Oh, thanks for that. Amazing. Now I'm gonna cancel. Like if I need it, I'm just canceling it. So like stuff like that. Like a little bit. Like what else do I want to talk about? It was mostly the forge. It was the waves. It was the track shift. Treads. I made a video on the treads. The treads are for the people that don't know or don't realize how important they are. They could probably be burning through it really quickly. I know it's a event reward. That's how they're gonna get people to like play their events and stuff like that. But I think maybe a little bit more. Just give us a little bit more of that thing. And my one last quality of life thing as a Demon Wedge farmer. I don't know if anybody of you guys will agree with me, but because Covenanters is so kind of like important, it like you're crafting like 4 of these. Um, I think the cost for the blueprints is a little high. 1,000 for a Covenanter's blueprint. I get that the other ones like Ravaging Thunder should be high because those are really powerful. But like Covenanters, I feel like should be a little bit less than 1,000 secret letters to get the total number of blueprints that you need to plus 10 it. Everything else is fine. Like Griffins, yeah, sure, keep it high. Ravaging Thunder, though, that the specific element ones keep it high. But Covenanters, I think it needs to go down a bit.
Better yet,
And
just
I
make it
had
grindable.
yeah, honestly. Yeah, I think that's most of it. I'm missing one I thought about earlier. I'm trying to remember it. Just give me like a few seconds. Brain power needs to activate. Again, same thing with the waves and the blue. You know when you finally get your 50 demon wedges, the purple ones, and then you farm out the 1,000 secret letters, and then you have to do the blueprints like the covert commissions. I really think the covert commissions should just have a 10-piece slider. I want to spend 10 of these things. Let me just do the one commission thing and then bang. Like you know how you're like pulling for gotcha? Like just like a 10-piece thing. Because most of the pity is 10, right? And then you just get the rewards one at a time. I would prefer that way. It saves me so much time. But if other people don't agree with that, then that's okay with me too.
So you want relic refining is what I'm hearing.
Basically, so just like speed it up a bit, you know. Like I already spent 11 hours farming out 50 copies of this thing. I spent like 5 hours farming the secret letters.
Listen,
And then
as another person who's been farming the mess out of demon wedges like you, I can agree with you on that because maxing out multiple of those things for golds, yes, we can take our time on it, but oh my god, does it hurt?
yeah, it does hurt. Dude, wait, there's one. Dude, have you gotten the one where you got the back to back, you need 15 clues to get one wedge? It hit me twice.
Yep.
I was like 15. I was like, oh, what the hell? And then it happened back to back. Dude, I one time I just closed my stream and I left. I was like, no more. I'm all right. Yeah, that's it. That's basically it.
All right. Now, for me, I feel that with the game being so good, but at the same time needing so many quality of lives, I feel that this is a topic we could literally make a whole podcast about, just this topic, with how many things we can actually sit down to talk about the game that could improve, because the game has so much potential, right? You guys have already said some of the really good ideas for the game, and how they can improve certain aspects. So I'm only going to touch up on some that I don't think were brought up. The first one is, we talked about it earlier. We need an incentive to actually push further into these waves, bro. Like, there has to be a reason why you want to get stronger, and not even theater, which is technically the end game content, gives you a reason to actually want to push further into the game, right? Like, there is no cosmetic rewards, which is another one of the things we're going to talk about. There's no valuable loot for going, to, I don't know, act 50, act 100, act whatever. So when you're getting stronger, to what? I'm sure in the future there will be harder content, maybe, who knows? That's the hope and the dream. But for now, even with simple farmable content, the fact that you're incentivized to drop out after, 3 waves, 4 waves is really bad. I feel that that's one of the quality of life things that would motivate people to want to get stronger, because one of the biggest things you'll hear is, what's the point of even farming gold wedges if I can clear everything with purples, right? So that's one of the things that definitely need to be improved upon. The second thing that I want to talk about is, the business model is cosmetics. There is no cosmetics, right? The reason that gacha games work is because you start a gacha game, they'll usually give you like a free 5-star. Basically, the devs get their player base hooked on crack, which is the gacha, right? This game, if they want to make money, they gotta hook their players up with cosmetics off the jump that makes them understand that you can customize characters, you can change the way they look, their colors, which colors is another thing I want to talk about. But cosmetics needs to be a thing that's more promoted in the game. Right now, you guys were talking about, there's no real purpose in pushing tower. Right now, I have to push tower because I need milk, but that's not really an incentive, right? If maybe every tower, right, you got to floor 50 and you got a specific little basic cosmetic that shows you got to floor 50, and then that same cosmetic with a little rainbow glow when you got to floor 100. That simple thing is motivation enough for a lot of people to want to push those end game floors,
Yep.
right?
The carrot on the stick, right? We need the
Yep,
carrot.
exactly. Another thing is, I don't know if the devs don't like money, but people like painting their characters, and it's literally almost impossible to get black and white paint unless you're summoning on the character skin gacha. Otherwise, you can't really get black or white paint apart from the 5 I believe you get every month, and that's it. I personally feel that you should be able to craft the one-time use paints, right? And paint the basic skins on the characters. It would add diversity, and it would introduce players to how they can customize their character, how they can make it look different, and then they can go the Warframe route and sell color palettes where you buy it and you can use it infinitely on all your characters. And the free-to-plays would also be able to paint their characters. And eventually you might be able to paint with the basic colors, right? Basic red, basic pink, whatever. And then the devs will drop rainbow, sparkle, pony pink in a color palette, and someone will want to buy it because it'll make their character sparkle pink, right? Good way to make money. And once again, giving the players the ability to see what customization is. There are players that try this game and they don't even know you can customize the character, despite it saying customize on the literal character description. So that's something they definitely got to work on. And everything else I feel you guys touched up on. There are some things we haven't talked about. If you guys have any more ideas, feel free to shoot.
Yep.
But I do feel that that's some of the biggest things on top of what you guys said that need to be improved in the game.
Give me that Hellfire diamond cut swimsuit. I'll buy it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. The Lady Niffle leopard thong skin, I'm there, bro.
Oh snap!
Can I add to the whole like color palette thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like the way Warframe has it to give you a little like teaser of what you can do is they give you like they give you like one like very unsaturated of each color so that you can like test out what looks cool with what. right? And it's like a little like trial like color palette in a sense. So they could do that. They could let everyone have like maybe one shade of each color at first, just so people have like a taste of what it's like, and they can change obviously like the base costume. And then if they want like the really good looking color palettes, guess what? Just, you know, drop some money and you'll look really cool, right? So if that's how they're gonna handle monetization, I think that's a good way they could do it. Just have like a base trial one, so people get an idea of how it feels, and like, oh, like this color looks really nice with this. So like if I get the saturated one in the shop, or like the smoke like color palette, it'll look really cool. Whatever, like then they have like more incentive to maybe want to spend, and that would help with monetization, obviously. So I just thought about that.
Yep.
Now,
Exactly.
amazing. To add on this real quick,
Yep.
I can't remember if it was the first Descendant or if it was Warframe, but I know one of the games had like a bundle of palettes you could just buy, and
Yep.
it was like a one-time buy thing.
Mhm.
I can't remember which one it was, but like I feel like we need something like that though.
Yeah,
We need like an actual palette that you just get that grouping, and once you buy it, you good. Like
yeah, like
you enjoy that.
that's literally what it should be too. Like the die system in the game right now is really like kind of annoying, because like a lot of it is like the like gotcha like exchange shop currency to even get some, and they're limited in the shop too. So like people can't even like customize all their characters if they wanted to. They wouldn't even have enough dice. So like they definitely need to add just like outright color palettes, and then yeah, just make it put behind money, because that's how you would want to like monetize the game. It's already monetized through cosmetics, so just make it so like the color palettes themselves, the good looking ones, are like paid, and then maybe there's like, you know, again like a trial one for like of like very like low saturated colors of each like general color, right? Things like that. And then like Blade was saying, like bundles, like that's a big thing too. Have a color palette with the bundle, have a skin, like have a color palette for the skin, like a color palette that's like tailored for that skin. So like as an example, like on Warframe, they have like the heirloom skins. Those are like crazy, and they come with a color palette for the exact colors of the heirloom you buy. So like if you wanted those colors on like a different like character, it came with the bundle you bought, right? So you have that as like the option too. So like yeah, bundles in the future for sure, like mixing matching, like, you know, whether it's like headpieces, auras, right? They could add that as things, but yeah.
What do you guys think about hairstyles and hair dyes?
Oh, 100%. That should be in the game.
I love
Yes.
that.
That should be in the game.
100% yes.
Also, I know some others have mentioned this, but what is it called? Just their OG fits. Can we dye those, please? Like
Yeah,
that would be
100%.
nice.
100%. We need to be able to do that.
I feel like
Hellfire
that'd be a
OG
great
skip
thing.
peak.
Yeah. Oh,
That
one
is
thing to
vital.
add. Sorry, y'all, but like, you know how Hellfire comes with that like back bling, or like the thing? Let us take that and put that on another character if we unlock Hellfire, please, bro. 'Cause that thing looks pretty cool.
I can deal with that.
Yeah, and like
Also,
yeah,
another
things like
thing
that.
that I would like to see on top of the being able to color the base skins of characters, I would like a simple decal system that we can essentially apply a sticker onto a character or weapon. And it could just be like some very simple stuff to start out, like very simple shapes, you know, star, triangle, circle,
Yeah.
whatever.
100%.
yeah.
I
I
can
could
agree with
definitely
No,
see that.
Yeah.
the CS route. Let's go. I'm down for that.
Like I said, we could literally sit down and talk about all the possibilities with this game and this particular topic, because there's just so many. There's a lot of things, and I'm sure if we were to just be chill talking even more, would think of more, you know, options that could be added to the game. But I want to move on to the next topic so we don't keep everybody here too long. And this one is interesting because a lot of people seem to complain, and I only have one issue with it, so I am gonna go first on this one, and that is the time-gated materials, right? How do y'all feel regarding the time-gated materials? Personally, I only have one issue regarding time-gated materials, right? And that is, why the hell do we have skill upgrade materials in the weeklies? That bothers me completely, because not only is it unnecessary that it's there, but the way they do it is extremely dumb. Perfect example. They just dropped Psyche into the weekly boss. Why is Psyche not in the same boss that is not only her, but also gives the materials you need for her? So if you want to grind Psyche, you farm her on a different boss that also doesn't give the weekly materials for her skills. So we already got to pick between the weapons, the characters, and now the weekly materials for the skills. I feel that it's unnecessary. the weekly materials for skill level ups can be put in any other mission. They could be a hard mission where you grind for them or craft them, whatever it may be. And I feel that with how many Twilight threads that we need, right, for our characters, they can be put as rewards in the weeklies, right? You would get 1 per try, meaning 5 per week. And I don't even think 5 is enough to level up all your character skills and passives. So I feel that Twilight threads could be put there instead of just being limited to like a battle pass or events or special activities that reset every week or whatever it might be, and give us the skill up materials in any other type of mission, because we're already gated in, you know, the weapons and blueprints from there. That's my take. What do you guys think regarding this topic?
I definitely feel like a lot of the problems that we have with weekly stuff is because we are still pretty early in the game. However, I do definitely agree that we generally are going to need a buff regarding a majority of the weekly lock stuff, either giving us more claims or giving us more per claim. Though I will hard agree on you when it comes to a lot of the weekly like mat skill level up stuff, because I'm sure a lot of you are either, you know, it either like doesn't matter for you for some because you have like so many of them that you can just like +8 all of your characters no problem, or you just never have enough of like one particular one, either because like you have a ton of characters that need that particular
Use
skill
the
mat,
same one.
or or you just never clear the boss that Matt drops from because you don't want any of the character or weapon ladders from them. For instance, my example is the Crystallophile boss, which
Don't want
drops the
jail.
the only one that drops the blue mats, and the letters that drop from it are the Grishu Ratchet, which obviously that one's really good. However, you're only typically going to need to do 1 or 2 claims to obtain that. And then it's Yell Oliver, and then you've got the like whip sword, which we already talked about how most weapons aren't that good. And whip sword is especially not good because that is the only melee weapon type in the entire game that does not have a single double damage wedge,
Mm-hmm.
which really harms it. And
Mm-hmm.
then you've got the spear, which we got for free already, and truffle, which we also got for free already. So basically, I'm just kind of like sitting here thinking like, okay, do I want something that's going to be useless for my account, but it gives me good XP? Do I want something that's going to be useless for my account, but gives me XP? Or do I want I2 Truffle? And I'm only in this situation because I need all these blue mats for my Fina, for my Outsider, for my Tabitha, for my Rebecca, so on and so forth.
Damn.
Yeah. And I also feel like the chase blueprints generally don't feel that good either. Like, I can definitely understand them being limited right now because obviously the Typhon series is probably the most important and powerful set of demon wedges in the entire game. It just really, really sucks to be getting like Resolve Pyro, Resolve Umbro, Resolve Hydro. It basically resolve anything except for Animo.
Yep.
But outside from that, I did kind of just like say everything about weeklies, didn't I? So I guess there wouldn't really be anything outside from that. Period. I'm done.
Yeah, for like time gated content, like the thing is, obviously, you don't want like FOMO in your game, but every live service game needs some type of way to have players play every week, right? At least, right? So the weekly system in the game, I understand why it's there, and I'm completely fine with it. The main thing that I would like change from the weeklies would definitely be just like characters and weapons being in the first place, in a sense, because I understand like, you know, oh, like some of these characters, especially Rhythm I2, is like kind of sought after, right, because of how good it is, right? So that's why they put her in a weekly boss, so they like kind of time gate you from getting a powerful Intron like that. But then why is Hellfire in the weeklies too, right? If they're gonna put like powerful characters in weeklies, then they definitely should have like adjusted who was in there in the first place that actually should have been in there, if that was their idea. But yeah, honestly, weapons and characters being in there just like is kind of a problem. But then again, it would be alleviated if like the material, like, you know, CJ was mentioning, like why is that even in there to like actually level up your skill thing? That wouldn't, like, if you had that from like you know, like chase or like an actual like stage for that in particular, then it wouldn't matter because you would just do the weekly for like the character you're trying to get. So yeah, it's for me, it's kind of like I'm kind of like on both sides of it. Like I understand why they keep characters and weapons there, but like I could see like it would be better for some people that just want to grind like rhythm out, but they're just cooked because like she's in the weeklies, right? But again, like the devs did say they will get moved over to single layer clues eventually. It's just like, you know, can they let us know the schedule at least so I know who to farm right now? You know, like Tabitha, like I farmed her already, right? And then they're like, oh, she's getting replaced by Psyche. So I was like, damn, okay, well I kind of wasted like a few of my early weekly runs because of that, right? So yeah, and
True.
then things like the like Firo said it, but like the bounty like chase commissions like for the drops, that is like insane, bro. Honestly, if you like calculate how much you would get over time, you probably wouldn't have a Prime Serenity max till like next year. Like
Yeah.
like with how long it would take you, because it's just RNG on the drop, right? You might not get the one for the exact type you need. So like for that, they either gotta increase the amount of drops you get per clear for like each like blueprint, or like I don't know, man. Like I don't know how they do it, but I understand it's obviously time gated because of how powerful the wedges are. But like there is a time gated like to an extent, you know. Like if it's like a year until I get my max prime serenity, you know, maybe by that point they've already dropped a demon wedge that power creeps it in a sense, you know. Like so I don't know. They definitely need to like adjust that, I'd say. And yeah, Mystic Maze Weekly I think is fine because you can farm it though, right? Because that's not like because you have like the option to infinitely grind it anyway. I don't think Mystic Maze has the problem there. So I think that one's fine. And then yeah, I'm rambling on. So anyways, that's pretty much what I have to say.
All right, and then on the time gating situation, right? I am also half and half because I can understand why kind of business, or I guess the game devs are doing the way they have it, where you need to have certain things that you need to make the player to decide against, right? Because at one point you want to get more players to go ahead and just get into the game. You want them to keep coming back. But at the same time, there are some things that are kind of weird how they have it. CJ mentioned it, of course. Why do we have Psyche in a whole different area when our actual skill materials that are needed for her are in a different boss, right? That that kind of it makes you decide against certain things instead of you wanting to go for that character. Now you're like, okay, now I got to go for the skill stuff instead. Like I can't go for dupes now because the skill stuff is in a whole different boss. I would kind of like some of that moved over and paired with the same people, but I understand why they don't do it. They want you to come back. They want you to spend your time to separate that, but it's like it's a half-half situation.
Weeklies to me, I get why they're doing the weekly thing because you kind of want people to come back every week to your game. So I get that, but I feel like there's such a good end game potential farm that they're just not letting us do. Like you guys said, the skill material is terrible, and I like Furio said, the Fyros. I had that same situation. A lot of my characters use that blue one, and I remember like I ran out early, and I was like forced to get Yale, which turned out to be great because Yale actually is a little demon that people are sleeping on. But still, I had to get Yale to get the skill mats. Same thing with the Amazing. He said, I wasted a week on Tibet when she was coming to the free pool. I did the same thing, but at that point, I kind of needed her
Yeah, she's
because my
good.
team was just basically weak.
Yeah.
I needed like a good buffer, but still, knowing in the future, I would have probably planned different. Here's the thing, like bosses in the game, there are 5 of them, and they're actually somewhat enjoyable to play against to an extent if they're difficult. What I was suggesting to my chat the other day, you know how you get 5 pulls a week on them? It's fine to get those 5 pulls and get like a good chunk of whatever you want there. But there is it should be a farmable mode wherein you can get red globules, you can maybe get coins. Those are going to be your generic drops that you probably will get if you do the boss fight. And then you get that super rare chance to get one piece or one copy of whatever is on that list. It's either the character, the weapon, the other character, or the other weapon. Make it like a farmable mode wherein you can actually drop the what do you call it? The skill material that you need. And you know, like if you're tired of farming wedges, you're tired of farming weapon parts, Luno coins, whatever, and you wanna like it could be a super rare drop, but at least it's something to do. Like we can farm that thing. I can see myself fighting a boss all day. I could set aside a full day. We're just gonna fight this boss and try to get multiple copies of this thing. It's like a wasted end game potential mode that they could put. That I mean, they already made the design for the bosses. It's already there. I feel like it would be fun to do something like that. What do you guys think?
I would really only
I
like that if they made the boss like really
Harder.
engaging and difficult. I'm talking like hologram level 10 or hologram level 6 Wuwa style.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like I'm sweating my balls off trying to get this clear type of deal.
Yeah.
Cuz
It has to be hard. Exactly. You're right.
yeah, cuz if I'm just doing the bosses like I am right now, I'm literally just going to be watching a cutscene for half the time because I'm going to like load in, see their intro cutscene. Okay, I'm going to hop up in the air, shoot some ratchet on the ground and then like destroy the boss in 20 seconds. So it definitely needs to be more engaging than what it currently is if it is going to be something that I'm going to grind out because that would genuinely just be like the most brainless thing that I could do ever in the entire game. And that's saying something because exploration is a mode that exists.
Yeah, true. Well,
okay.
I was imagining it to be like very difficult to like a
Yeah,
co-op
no, I
type of
think that's a
thing.
really good idea if they implement it right. We did talk about how the game model, right, needs people to want to come back week after week. And that's true, but it doesn't need to be done in the way that a lot of these gotcha games do it, right? We can pretty much agree that despite it having a gotcha system, this is very far from a gotcha game. So if they implement ways like Morph was saying, right? If the bosses are able to be farmed after you get your 5 clears, even if it's like a 5% chance to drop one of the things, right? It would be a reason for players to come back and grind them. Now, what could happen is once again introducing more end game content where right now we know we can fight enemies, right? If we go into the testing room up to, I believe it's 180. So they can make it so right now we're blitzing bosses at level 80. So they could add like level 100 bosses where you have like 5% chance to get a drop, level 120 where you have like I don't know, 10%, level 180 where you have a 15% chance to get them and they're much harder, but you can farm them as many times as you want for that small chance of getting some loot. So it goes with what
Yeah.
Morph was saying, and it would add the incentive to now farm some other type of hard content for some rare materials. It could be done in many different ways, and it could add challenge. So endgame content, rewards, and replayability with just the boss thing that Morph was bringing up.
I don't think level
Mhm.
scaling is really going to do all that much. Like, we're already punking like level 180 enemies and bosses in the immersive theater. Granted, that is with a bunch of positive damage buffs that we are receiving. However, it's just going to turn the whole thing into like a damage check, and I would much rather see some like mechanics involved or, like essentially reworked boss movesets where, you actually have to respect what they're doing instead of just fighting a big punching bag.
They
Absolutely.
could make
Yeah.
it like
And then
a they could make it like a raid boss, right? Like you can only bring in one character. You actually have to have friends or something. I don't know, or matchmaking. I'm gonna play my Hellfire tank. Hey, I ain't dying.
no, but absolutely agree. Like if make it so and this could be what comes, with 1.1, 1.2 as the game goes on, more mechanics. Like if we look at like Withering Waves, right? For example, and we look at the 1.0, yeah, 1.0 bosses compared to the holograms that we have now, it's a complete different ball game. Some of the bosses in 1.0 be standing still for the first 5 minutes of the match, whereas some of the ones we have now, you're fighting for your life, right? So it could come with time, but absolutely not just HP sponges, but also mechanics that could be implemented. The harder the difficulty of the bosses, but that goes with quality of life. And actually, our next topic, which we've talked about throughout all these other things, so this one could probably be relatively brief, which is the state of Endgame What do you guys feel about Endgame? We've said that in a game like this, there's never, or well, we don't know, but we don't expect there to be some really hard Endgame content. I think it could very much be applied to this type of game because it differentiates itself from both Gacha and Warframe. It could carve its own path, and the possibilities are there. But how do you guys feel about the current state of Endgame? That being, I guess, Maze, Theater, and Chase as our only Endgame modes.
Well, personally, me, I feel like both Maze and Immersive Theater are way too repetitive without much variance or like player input for how long you have to participate in them. I mean, like when it comes to the theater, you have to go to like what, Act 60, and the majority of that time you're going to be doing the exact same mobbing phase over and over and over again. And half the time during those mobbing phases, you're just going to be waiting for enemies to respawn. So I definitely feel like they really need to cut down on both the amount of stages that you need to clear, like the amount of acts, as well as the amount of like arenas that you go through per act itself. I feel like it should really be cut down to like one mobbing, one like elite stage, which has like some light mechanics, like you need to traverse around here to hunt down enemies, or you need to complete some like bonus objective in order to, you know, either make the elite faster or faster to defeat, or if you're just strong enough, you can of course brute force it. And then you of course have the boss phase. And when it comes to Mystic Maze, I feel like they need to generally just like overhaul the game mode a bit more, because currently it's kind of just like the uh what's it called? The weekly immersive realm, elusive realm challenge in Wuthering Waves, where you're just kind of like playing your characters normally, but you just get like some very minor stat buffs, which don't really change how your character plays at all most of the time, especially because the current best way to go through the Mystic Maze is the complete randomization of all of your drops, which completely eliminates any kind of like strategy or building that you can do, and you're just kind of running through trying to get like the or hoping that you get lucky, or hoping that you find the options at the shop that will give you the highest amount of damage for essentially the least amount of investment, because it's rather impossible to make a proper build with the cards that you have with that like random modifier applied. Something that I definitely thought of could be like a Mystic Maze enhancement or replacement. I don't know how many of you've played Risk of Rain, but it would essentially be reworking Mystic Maze to be like a lot more similar to Risk of Rain 2, where instead of, you know, you going through an arena and you're like wiping out 30 to 80 enemies, it's like one big map that you're roaming around, essentially defeating enemies along the way, getting those embers, collecting or and purchasing like resource nodes for those embers, which will give you artifacts, lamp wicks, so on and so forth, and obviously making them like more unique, stronger, and character changing effects. And then searching for essentially the gate to the next stage, in which you would fight a boss, and you keep going until, and you can keep going infinitely, which will keep scaling the enemy difficulty and rewards. And after a certain amount of stages, you can fight a final boss or continue to go or keep looping, increasing those rewards further. But at any time you do hit that like final boss threshold, you can cash it all out and get like an even bigger boost than you get if you like necessarily failed during the infinite stage. I love Chase though. Very few problems with that. Just like more modes like Chase with more involved mechanics. Make it more like the final room and less like the second objective.
Okay,
That's about it.
those were good. Yeah, those were good. I like those.
Sure. Yeah, in terms of like again endgame, it honestly will like come down to what you define like the endgame of like immersive theater, right? Because like, what would you guys say is like endgame? Would you guys say endgame is acts 1 to 12 of like immersive, or would you say it's like 60, like act 60? Because right now it's like the main
1 to 12 for me.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say 1 to
generally,
12.
yeah.
Act 60, that just feels like such a drag.
Yeah.
I'm just like sitting here like, I know I probably should get the milk, but that's what, 8 hours?
It's a grind,
Do I
bro.
really
Yeah.
want? Yeah, do I
Yeah.
really want to spend 8 hours to get a Genimon milk? when I could spend that 8 hours getting another I6 character, or like 2 more Smelt 5 weapons, or like some demon wedges and stuff. It's way too much time for what you're given.
100%.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, right, if we want Endgame to be hard, but we consider Acts 1 to 12 Endgame, then what they would either need to do is make everything past Act 12 actually worth doing, or like, again, like
Yes.
you're also saying, like the amount of time done, like maybe just make it 24 acts is the max, but Acts 1 to 12 is the new characters in the thing, like it normally is, right? So like then we would classify like 13 to 24 as like the end game. It's just getting your character into Acts 1 to 12 is like, you know, where we were at like when the game came out, like when we were pushing that, and it was like actually difficult for us, right? So again, as I was saying, it's like it's because of the way demon wedges are structured, where like if you have a strong enough build, eventually things won't feel hard just because of how strong we are, right? Versus like other games where like they just, you know, make the boss like a crazy bullet sponge or whatever the case, right? Um, and like similar games too, like Duet Night Abyss, which is why I bring up Warframe, because like their end game, they just say their end game, y'all, is fashion frame, because there's nothing hard in that game. Like at the end of the day, like, right? So yeah, it's tough, right? Because you obviously want like something hard for the people that enjoy like, you know, interactive, difficult content. But then again, if you make it too hard, or you scale the difficulty based on like I6 Nightfall, right? For like let's say Act 60, you need I6 Nightfall, or like Act 12, let's say, right? You need I6 Nightfall. Then a new player that's getting into the game that hasn't even grinded up like an I6 Nightfall will be struggling to even like, you know, do it with like max units, whatever, right? So yeah, it's kind of tough with that. But again, we'll see how they manage it. But yeah, definitely increasing the rewards and then just making it like a certain cap. Just make it like 24 acts, I think would be fine. Total, and then just have 13 to 24 be like actually like needing like gold wedges, and then just put good rewards in it. Right? That'd be fine. Yeah, and then like Chase, I think Chase is like really good. Again, like co-op right now is like kind of rough, but like that mode is good. You have multiple different things. It kind of feels like a strike from Destiny. I don't know if you guys can relate. I don't know if you guys have played Destiny like that.
Yeah.
But kind of like that, where like there's 3 different like phases of it. You know, like the first phase, you're doing your like, you know, killing those 2 bosses, and the second's like the little like waiting one, and then the third is like you fight the guys and then the drop, right? So yeah, I think that's good. And then what they could do to do like a stage that's above like Chase in a sense would be like a raid, where like you kind of need like maybe like 6 people or whatever. But again, like the thing is with raids is like if the mechanics are too hard, and you know there's no like game chat in the game, it's hard for people to really like, you know, clear something like that if they're too difficult mechanics, right? So that's also like an issue with like raids in games. But yeah, I would like a certain like raid mode where like in co-op it's like really hard, but you have to do your role that you're doing for the raid. That could be pretty cool to make like endgame a little bit, you know, like fun for like a co-op experience at least. And then yeah, but other than that, like Chase is like good in my opinion. Again, like the waiting part in the middle is kind of annoying, but like I think it's fine. Because like if you have like co-op lobby and like everyone goes to their spots, it's not as like that bad, I guess, in a sense. You just have to make sure like they get there. But yeah, no, I understand though. And then Mystic Maze, I wouldn't even consider endgame personally, because like I think Mystic Maze is more so just like a weekly content. I think it's like weeklies to me in a sense, right? Like where I feel like, you know, you just do it every week, and then if you need more, you grind it. So like that's where I'm kind of at for Mystic Maze. But yeah, that's endgame for me. Again, like I'm going based off of like Warframe, and I know like CJ was mentioning, like he thinks like the game is gonna pave its own path. But like with the way they like match demon wedges, and it's like a very similar system, right? It's hard to like balance that, I guess, in a sense, because like, and especially the way DNA did it, where it's like duping a gold wedge, right? Whereas like in Warframe, if you just get the mod, you have the mod at its peak power. You just level it up, right? So in DNA, you actually have to like dupe it up, and that's what's like the difference versus like a person who just got to endgame or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much my point of view on it.
Okay, can I add something real quick to what you said?
Go
Because
for it.
it actually piqued my interest. So regarding theater, right? I feel that the general end game, right, should be up to floor 12 or act 12, like for most people, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind all of the other floors for it. Um, my wedge game is not like you guys. You guys are some pros for that. So I'm slowly getting stronger with my wedges. And I was kind of dumb because I was trying to record a video and I bought all the blueprints for the weapon, so I didn't get the milk. So now I'm trying to get the milk, and I'm slowly trying to get better wedges. And it feels good pushing the stages and seeing how strong I am as I get my wedges a little bit higher every day, whether it's +6, +7. But with that said, the rewards, even if it's the milk and it's a one-time item that we can't get nowhere else, doesn't feel rewarding, right? So
100%.
I think that general endgame should be up to Act 12, but from Act 12, whether it's every 12 acts or every 6 acts, whatever it might be, there should be a better incentive to actually do theater, and that could be the end game for the sweaty players. I feel that up to Act 12, you should be able to get like everything that's in the shop that resets with every theater reset. And then after that, you can get shit literally any cosmetics, right? Cosmetics don't affect nobody, and they could be simple cosmetics, profile pictures, profile banners, a little keychain that shows that you cleared up to Act 12, that shows how many acts you cleared on Fina's, whatever. Simple things like that would incentivize that to be end game for us sweaty players, I feel like. And that would be a good usage of that theater mode, because right now, like Furious was saying, bro, people were saying that is not a big deal. Bro, I was in there for like 5 hours, 4 hours. I don't even know. And I'm on like Act 40. So it's
Yeah.
just tedious to do in general. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to add to what you said. I thought it was a great point.
100%.
Could I add something as well?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you were talking about the whole like instead of it just going infinite, you've got like Act 12, which is like the main thing, and then you've got like up to Act 24. I definitely feel like this a really good idea. So you've got like Act 12, like 1 through 12, and it's like the very typical kind of like scaling up into the final challenge. But then what I think like would be good is like after that, each stage is like a new kind of like screwed up and evil modifier on it. And maybe they drop some of like the element restrictions, but essentially each one is like a puzzle of like, okay, how do I like build my
Yeah,
team, build
yeah.
my wedge setup on this?
Sure.
All right, and there's
Like
also
that.
like hella difficulty scaling on each one. So like, if let's say Act 1 through 12 is like going from 0% to like 120%, you know, like Act 13 through like 18 is like 120% to like 360%. And then Act 18 to Act 20 is like going all the way up to like 800% difficulty.
Yeah.
And that would be
Oh,
like, so it's like each stage is just even more intense than the last with a different unique modifier that, you know, maybe can repeat, like maybe it interacts with the rotating modifiers in its own different ways. But it makes it like a more focused and intense challenge per stage that then gets you all those stretch rewards that we see in the shop, as well as cosmetics like was mentioned before.
Now, Blade, you're up.
All right. So the main thing I gotta say was already kind of answered with this one, which was the axe, to be honest, because the only thing I can say is I took way too much time going after Act 12 and just keep going up, and it was for little to nothing. So I do need to say that if we're gonna qualify anything for in game needs to be at least 1 through 12, 1 through 16, something like that. That has something that's decent, that's rewarding. But other than that, if I wanted to see something else that was in game, I I'm a little bit of a junkie for Naruto Blazing when that was a thing. And I want to see something like missions that we can actually do with folks that are you bring your one character, right? You got to look for other folks who are bringing their one character. Y'all do some co-op. Y'all actually grind that out, and you get certain things for it. I miss those interactive type of game modes that you actually wanted to find other players with, and not many games have those like actions anymore. So I want something like that for this game that's actually difficult. It's kind of like the rating system that was brought up as well. I want something like that that can be a good in-game mode. That instead of it just being a HP sponge, that you have to actually take care of the mechanics. You got to know your role. You got to sit there and genuinely take time to figure out things. You can't just sit there and just bash at pretty much a dummy the entire time. I want something like that in the game.
Okay. Uh, So bounty chase for me, I like it. Actually, it's pretty fun solo, especially with weaker characters since I play non-meta. It's actually pretty challenging. But then when I joined co-op, holy smokes, everybody just smoked that stage up. Like it was done. It's like done in 6 minutes or 5 minutes. So I made a deal. I made a deal with my chat. I'm gonna build I6 Randy, and I'm gonna let them Psyche mains and the Nif mains like do their thing, and I'm gonna sit on my throne next to the chest and just sit there. That's why I built I6 Randy for. So I'm just
Nice.
gonna sit there and let my boys do the work, and I'll just protect the chest. So bounty, good mode. I like it. It's fun. Maze honestly is pretty damn fun if you don't like grind it out the whole day. Like you do like 4 or 5 a day. It's fun to like mess around with because it's like a roguelike, right? So I do enjoy that, but then the looming thought when the time is coming soon that I have to clear out the shop, that's when it kind of scares me and that's when I don't like it. And like I said, I want letters in it. So I like the maze. I'll be honest, I like the maze. It just needs a little bit more improvements, like Fear said. The theater. I put out a video. I am the biggest hater of the theater. I don't like the debuffs in general because like I don't like the debuffs and I don't like the added incentive that other elements get. I understand why it's there. It's so that people are incentivized to like make other elemental teams. I get that part. So personally, I don't like theater, but as an end game for now, it's good. So what I'm basically trying to say is I will have some faith in them and just wait for them and let them cook, and maybe we'll get better content, better end game in 1.1 because they did mention that they're adding PvP and PvE modes on 1.1 as well as the new wedges to grind. I am hopeful with the game and call it cope or whatever, but I think it will be fine when it comes to endgame. The endgame right now is acceptable. It's good. It's fine. I'll do it. I'll play it. What I'm really enjoying is the grind and making the characters. To me, that's my end game. Like making a bad character good or decent or playable. That's like the end game for me. Making the builds. So yeah, better rewards. You guys said it already. They all need to do that stuff. I'm fine with all of that. King Randy sitting on his throne and bounty chase. Expect it every day, chat. Every day. You guys got to turn up. I'm just gonna sit there. All right. That's it. That's all my takes for it.
The next topic, I think we've talked about it, so it's I'm just gonna say a couple of things, and if anybody wants to add anything, we can. But it's monetization. What can the devs do to get more money while keeping their free to play, formula they got going on? To me, it's quite simple. More cosmetics, right? Bundles, color palettes, and that's pretty much it. What do you guys think? What else do you think they could do? Yeah, monetization. Just what do you
I'll be
think the devs
honest.
could do to get more money?
They need more skins. You already said it. We need the
Yeah.
skins. We need the hairstyles. They just need more stuff. Like even the myriad banner. I don't know about you guys. I don't want to offend anybody out there, but I don't want to make my characters look like they came from the Winx Club or like My Little Pony stuff. So I want them to look badass. I want like cool armor. I want either bikini skins or something like that. I don't know. That's just me. But the currently like the myriad doesn't make me want to pull personally. If they can up their skin game, I've been telling my chat I want to spend some money. Let me spend some money, but I don't want to like buy the thoughts or anything because I want to stay relatively the same as my community, kind of free to play ish, light spender, and just buy like the cloth, basically pay to cloth. So yeah, give me them skins. That's it.
I think that's pretty much that regarding that topic, unless anybody else has something to add regarding
Yeah,
monetization.
I'll just add, but pretty much like the way they have it like right now is like, yeah, people feel like they don't have anything to really spend their money on because it's like, pay to progress faster or pay to look cool, but we have not much to look cool with yet, you know? So one of those things where like they just need to add more for like cosmetics, whether it's color palettes, like character skins, things like that. And then yeah, for like progression, maybe boosters instead of like commission manuals. Give me like the way Warframe has it, where like I get a 1 day resource drop chance increase, and it lasts like 1 day. So I'm incentivized like, okay, that 1 day I'm just gonna farm as much as I can, and then the booster runs out, right? They could do that. Yeah. I mean, other than that, I think like yeah, it'd just be like ways to like try and get people to spend. Because right now it's really just battle pass, monthly pass, and that's about it. That's I think the only thing I've bought personally. So
That's it. Yeah.
yeah. So
Mission
The
announcer
lightsaber's
bundles. Mission announcer bundles.
bro,
Yes.
replace what's her name? Like the Luno
Replace
Snow.
Snow?
Yeah.
Okay,
Snow,
give
yeah.
us
Snow,
mission
Snow.
announcer. Give us mission announcer bundles for every single character in the game. Okay,
Yes.
like make it so that when you complete a commission with Rebecca as the mission announcer, she calls you a good boy or girl, depending on the gender.
What
of your
about
MC.
Let's go on
Yo,
a
yo,
date, bro.
I'm trying to take
boys,
my
boys,
money, bro.
boys? Wait, boys. What about ASMR Camilla?
Ooh.
Trying to get the money. That's what I'm saying, bro. They have so much potential with cosmetics in this game. They can go in so many different routes. They definitely got to start working on that.
100%.
Also, emotes. Give us
Bro.
like
Emotes,
dance party emotes.
They
Yeah,
did
true.
they did good with that one that they gave us for free. It's kind of goofy, but hey, it gets some jiggle in there. So a lot
Give
of
us
people
the
like
gritty.
it. The gritty. All right. So anybody else? No? Okay,
we're
cool.
good.
So the next one, I think it's interesting. We'll all have, I'm pretty sure, the same take. What is your first impression? I mean, we've tested more now, but what is your impressions on Fina and her kit and how she impacted the game?
I love her.
Broken.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's kind of busted as a support, but honestly, we kind of also need that. It definitely feels
Yeah.
really nice to have like a general use support that is just good on everybody and is also very consistent, but also does have like certain things about her, like the fact that she doesn't provide any sustain. It's just pure damage. When a lot of the other supports also provide like CC, sustain, so on and so forth. So like right now, since we don't really have a use for a lot of sustain and CC, that definitely makes her a lot stronger. However, when we do get into a scenario where sustain and CC will definitely be more necessary, like increased difficulty, then you get run into some situations like, okay, do I need to play the healing? Like, do I need more healing? Or can I do the glass cannon build stuff? And the other thing that I like about her is that she still technically has a niche because she will only buff weapon damage and constance weapon damage users the most. And even among like the constance weapon users, two of them aren't going to be getting as much of a buff from her, like Lynn and Psyche, because a bunch of their damage comes from their ability procs rather than their weapon damage, compared to another character like Berenica, who leverages that buff significantly more.
She's awesome, bro. Like she turned on the weapons. She basically turned on weapons. In my opinion, she turned it on. So W Fina. And that's
Yeah.
why I think like in the future patches, it's like I said, like 1.1 will be the era of weapons. I feel like with Yuming and Queso.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll add to the Fina thing, but yeah, in the CBT, by the way, you know, instead of the damage though she provided until we were cool stacks, it was crit chance for weapon damage DPS.
Oh,
Yeah. So like they definitely like, I feel like what they decided to do was make her a little bit more generalistic once they did for launch for her, because like in the beta she was like strictly like weapon damage was like her main thing, and then you obviously had her like DOT on the ground, right?
Mhm.
So like but yeah, no, I'm actually glad that she is like more like that. And like Firos was saying, like no sustain is like means like, you know, for some teams you would run just like full damage and you just try not to die, and then other teams it's like, maybe I don't run Fina because she doesn't really give me sustain, right? So, you know, there's that. Yeah, no, she's just insane, man. Like the avatar, she got all the elements. Yeah, I mean I don't know what to say, she's broken. Super insane.
Her AI is a genius, man. Her AI is a genius.
Yes.
Why can't all the AIs be that good?
All I gotta say about it is just big number, go burr. That's it. She crazy.
Also, one more thing
Yes.
too, bro. Her weapon is crazy, bro. Like the buff it gives versus other like support weapons.
Yeah.
Like hello,
Yeah.
and bro, at max dupe it's gonna be 180% attack. Like
Like
crazy.
that weapon
yeah.
alone is just gonna shift character
Like
builds.
literally, bro. And so like my thing is like I hope that like in the future we get more like weapons like that like are kind of tailored to a certain character, because right now like there are some characters where like I feel like they don't even have a signature, you know what I mean? Like obviously they have like Hellfire and hers, and like, you know, like Sybil, and then like Fina has hers, and then Nightfall, but like the like Lynn I don't even think has like a signature other than Ratchet, I guess, but as like, you know, for that, but like she doesn't have one that's like, oh, this would affect her kit and like boost it. So for future releases, bro, like we need more weapons that are like doing something for like a certain element or a certain damage type, that are synergistic with the weapon itself and like the character's kit. So yeah, but like Fina's weapon is just super busted. Don't know what they were thinking, but
I mean, gleaming. What's a gleaming assault rifle?
yeah.
Is now gonna be meta
Oh yeah.
because of that.
Really?
I don't know. To me, because everybody's gonna just run the assault rifle, especially if I want to run meta. Well, not meta, well, not meta, but it's just gonna be good for me personally, because my characters are weak and they're electro. So I have the electro gun that's an assault rifle too, that gives you like 45% weapon damage.
Yeah,
So it's like I just use that now with like Randy or Sibby or something.
that's fair.
I mean,
It gives me something to like build towards and play with.
personally, I just find the Gleaming series to be generally less useful than a lot of the other damage buff ones like Duel, because you generally won't need that amount of damage. Like you can clear mobs just fine
But
without that, and you get more against the bosses, which are going to be a bit more necessary for that.
can we can't equip Gleaming and Duel at the same time?
Well, we can, but then you're like stacking a
Okay.
lot more damage, especially if you are talking about Fina, who's going to be providing a 45% general damage buff anyway, along with the 10% that you would get from Uplift. Well, 10 to, I think 18% from Uplift. So it really is just like a balancing act of like making sure that we're not stacking too deep into certain damage type buffs. Because,
True.
you know, that's the main thing that we have to keep in mind when it comes to how we build our characters and teams.
Yeah, I'll just add to that. Like I think with what Morph's saying, like for the gleaming mods, I think they will get a lot stronger though when like weapon damage is like something we actually are like working towards. Whether it's because the devs buff weapons themselves base, and so the gleaming mods just inherently become stronger, or I don't know, like, you know, we just get more stronger weapons in the future, just that release, right? Um, yeah, like in Warframe they have like a similar mod like that, and like for specifically when you do like level cap stuff on that game, you kind of need that, like, I forget exactly what it is, but it's like when you swap to a weapon you get like a crazy amount of damage buff, like something like that when you like switch to a weapon. In this game it's like I don't know how they would do that because we only have a melee and the one gun, but I don't know, they would definitely have to like push more with like weapon type buffs if they want to go in that direction. But like, yeah, it's just because weapons just feel a little bit weaker now. But in the future, if they do feel strong, those gleaming mods might have a use. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, that's what's exciting about the game. You never know where it's gonna go. We're getting new wedges too in 1.1. I
For
haven't.
sure.
I'm saving all my boosters for that. I'm
Yeah.
not spending any right now.
That's fair.
Blade, you got anything to add to that?
Not really on this one. I'm just kind of chilling on this one. This is probably one of the few questions. Like I just said, busted character. I get to see big numbers, especially with my other characters that I finally can do things with. So I don't got much to add on it.
She is just insane.
Okay. Yeah, she's just crazy. Just to summarize it, very good character. Now, guys, we've been at it for a while. I feel that the last thing that I think we should talk about right now is what would you guys like to see in 1.1?
Chase 2.
Okay.
What if you all say?
Chase 2.
Oh, chase 2, like another chase. Yeah.
Yeah, more chase.
Fair, fair, fair. Yeah. Are we still going in like order, or like can we just like spew ideas?
Yeah, shoot if you got an idea.
Hopefully, like, because obviously they're already like teasing the new open world area. Hopefully there's more stuff to do in the open world, because the ones we have right now, there's like genie mon hunting and fishing in that one spot you have for every area. So there isn't really like any like interactive things in the overworld. So if they want to like really push like, oh, this update we have like a very beautiful location, and they showed it off in the thing and it looked really good, but like, you know, a world can look pretty, but if there's nothing in it, then like, you know, you don't feel like you really have anything to do. So I definitely suggest that for 1.1.
I would like to see them introduce more like maps for the missions in there, like maybe 1 or 2 new maps compared to the set that we currently have: the sewers, glove and pit, and
Oh,
temple
yeah.
area.
Yeah, for like different tile sets and stuff, like 1.1 specific like tile sets. Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
Only thing
For
I really
me-
want is like something added with the wedges. But like we already know new wedges are coming
Yeah.
for 1.1. They're teasing it. I just want like I want something worthwhile because I'm a wedge junkie. All right, grinding the wedges, it may be hurtful, but it's still fun at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It makes my characters deal a lot more damage. So I mean, like,
It's
give
like
me
a Medal
something
of
with that, and
Honor.
I'll be happy. Exactly.
Building
Yo,
on
yo,
top
that
yeah, building on top of the overworld thing though, I would definitely like to see an elite overworld where essentially it's just sort of like a zone that you go into that's going to be filled with like different enemy encounters that could happen at random, maybe even bosses.
Yeah.
So you actually have an incentive to explore and go around in the overworld, and of course it will give you some really good like rewards. Maybe not as consistent of rewards compared to like doing missions specifically, but when you do get those like super high difficulty boss encounters or elite encounters that you can then go chase after and eliminate, then you get like a big like burst of rewards from that.
True. That
Yeah, for me, I
Fantasio
think it
room
would
in the
be
sewers looks like a nice place for a world boss or something.
yeah.
Oh,
Like for me, I think the two main things I want to see. The first one is you guys said it. I want the maps to feel more alive because right now they feel pretty empty. There's really nothing to do apart from going out, catching Genimons and fishing, and that's it. So something I'd like to see is if y'all play Destiny, something like the Destiny events, because the events right now are you literally just run past them. There's no reason to interact with them. I want some Destiny-like events in the open world. Um, with that, maybe add to where you could see players in the open world or invite your friends to the open world. Something like that would be nice. And tied to that, I would like to see a clan system, right? Maybe a
Yep.
weekly boss tied to a clan or something along those lines. But a clan system, dojo, if you guys know Warframe,
True.
where we can all
Yeah.
see our friends and all that. Those are the two things I would like to see in 1.1.
For me, guys, it's basically I want the balancing. I want my Hellfire buff. I want my CB buff, Randy buff.
Yeah.
I hope that they work on that a little bit. And then, oh, we forgot. I wanted to mention this on the quality of life thing. I think you guys would agree with me. You know that Luno girl, the girl that pops up if you like, she like drops like crap. She
Oh,
has to
like the
drop
Yeah.
blue?
like good stuff.
Oh, true.
Make her drop like
The
50 Luna
she's
mementos at least.
she's like the loot goblin. She has to be like a loot goblin. So
The loot is like 30 coins, bro. Like whenever you normally kill her, I swear. Like
so that's basically all I want. I mean, with the wedges, that the middle wedge looks mighty suspicious, right? Why is it blue? Why is it still blue? There's gonna be something good there. So I'm looking forward to that.
Amazing Blade. You guys got anything
Swimming
you'd like
pool.
to see?
Oh, I already said
oh
mine.
yeah, I gave my piece. I gave my piece about it. Pretty
I
much
gave
like
my
the
piece.
overworld and
Swimming.
like yeah, like just yeah, pretty much just like the overworld stuff because that's really what they're emphasizing too at 1.1 is like the look of the game looks completely different. It's like the whole new areas like
Yeah.
looking crazy, so they definitely have to push with like you know actually making the world feel lived in and like, you know, things to do in
Yes.
it.
The
I,
world
I
gotta feel alive.
can I burn up something for you guys? Like I don't know what the next topic is. I think that's the last, but
Mhm.
what do you guys feel about the devs not kind of hyping the game up a bit more? I don't see any ads for it. I don't see anything for it, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely
What's
honest.
your
I
take on
think
it?
I think they don't have enough money to justify like marketing it right now. And the other part is that they're probably waiting to do like a big marketing push right now because they know that the game is still kind of content light and that there are still going to be issues that are going to drive people away and cause them to churn early on. So they are going to be waiting for that kind of like 2.0 equivalent launch to then of course like put it on Steam and make like that big push that's going to like properly bring this game out into the wider space.
Yeah.
That's a great take. Yeah.
That's definitely fair. I had something I had like on my mind to mention about that. I just like forgot those.
All right. So I feel that we've talked about a lot of things here, and there's still so much more to talk about, but it's been really good. I do want to say thank you to each and every one of you that took time out of your day to come chat it up. You know, I know y'all got busy schedules and things to do. But thank you guys for taking the time to come hang out. You know, appreciate y'all. I want everybody that's in my chat, in my community, to check each one of these guys out. They're really cool people, great content. Be sure to check them out. And hopefully, once 1.1 drops, if things go good, which we all hope they do, we can sit back down and chat about how we feel with 1.1 and the state of the game at that point.
Yeah, sure. Sounds
All
good.
right, guys, have a great day, and I'll chat it up with y'all later. Peace.
Yes,
See
sir.
ya.
Peace out,
It was
guys.
fun, guys.
Yep.